Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we say today, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing your American dream. Well, first off, we got to do a little house cleaning, everyone. I just want y'all to know that Wyatt's not here today. But with that being said, we do have Colton, the prodigal son from a long time ago, here today.
He's back.
Yes, and you can reach him at CMan11 at the Twitter thing.
Twitter.
Yes. Now, you also know that we are on the YouTube.
I love how everything is the World Wide Web.
That's right. The Facebook. Yes, because it's all the Home Team 512. It's pretty simple to get us. I'm just saying. And, you can go to loansfromtroy.com/the Home Team. So it's very simple to find us if you want to. There's plenty of areas out there. And so this segment that we're about to discuss is about the real estate segment. So we're going to talk about what's going on out there in the real estate world. And I will tell you, being a person of the real estate world for 20 years.
So that's almost all of my life.
Yeah. This has been one of the more challenging times in the real estate industry than I can remember as part of it. Now,
and it comes on the foot of some of the best times.
Yeah, it's
there's no highs without the lows.
That's right, and that's I always tell everybody, you enjoy the highs and you just get through the lows, right? Yeah. And but I want to describe the real estate industry over the last 3 years as taking a rubber band as far as you can and stretching it, right? And then when you stretched it too far, what happens? Pops, and it hurts. That thing comes back, smacks you in the face, sends you to the hospital, a little blood on your cheek. That's kind of what happened. The amazing 2-3% rate thing just stretched, and then once it ended with a furious bang. And
it was because it just wasn't sustainable. Having those kind of rates in the market, it's not a sustainable thing. It just wasn't. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but it just wasn't sustainable.
Yes, it was. And the part about it though is that people were using logic of the 2008, 2009, 2010 era. They were using that logic to assume that it was a bubble. Yeah. And when a bubble pops, it bursts and everything inside escapes and it's gone forever. That's not what we had. And there's a couple of reasons, and we've talked about this, but I think people need to understand that's not what we've had because it's not what we're getting. Everybody assumed, I still read it today, 10 to 15%, decline in the housing market, are coming around the corner. Yet we have people today that are submitting 4 and 5 offers against multiple offers in the Austin area.
Still a hot market.
When it is the slowest purchase market we've had in 7 years. I think 2015, if you want to think of volume wise or unit wise, probably the 2015. So that's the slow, but that's been a long time. And the reason why is twofold. Well, threefold. First of all, in our area, we're having a massive increase of immigration. And when I say that, I'm talking like, I'm not talking about Mexico, even though we are. California. I'm talking about California, but Georgia. Iowa. People are moving to Texas for many reasons, right? Many reasons. So we have that. We also have the millennials is the age group, which is one of the largest generations we've had in 5-6 decades for sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And so we have the largest amount of new creations of families that we've had at one time happening. So we've got people moving to Texas. We've got the largest creation of new families, and we are producing, creating, building, completing, whatever you want to call it, new homes at half of what we were doing in 2008. 2008, we were 2.1, 2.2 million per year. Last month, we were just over 1.3.
Dang.
So we're creating, 900,000 less homes. We have twice as many new families being created just by the millennial generation getting of home buying age, right? And we have a lot of people moving into Texas. So no matter what happens, we have a housing shortage, and everybody looks and like, well, the inventory is up 206%. It was a housing scarcity before, and people were, and so that's the reason
whenever the scarcity is that low, obviously there's going to be that big of a turnaround whenever it does come back.
Yeah,
206%. Seems like a lot, but in reality,
what
it was, it's
And I tell it to somebody, I'm like, look, if you were sitting in minus 50-degree water, and then someone turned it up to 0, is it better?
Yeah.
I mean,
it holds cold.
So the months of inventory is 3.2, but that has to do with less sales than it has to do with excess inventory.
So
right?
as a buyer, are you still having to, offer 40,000 over like you were during the COVID times, or?
It's not there yet, right? So here's what's generally happening. There's exceptions to every rule, but generally what's happening now is that 4 and 5 people are bidding on nice homes, quality homes that are ready to move in good shape, good price, all that sort of stuff. They're getting 4 and 5 offers. But they aren't 40, 50, they're for the list price and maybe asking for no closing costs or, something like that. Anybody negotiating under list is not really getting an offer accepted, but so that's what's happening. Now, pretty soon that's going to go away because you got to think rates are in the 7s.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're in the 6s now. So the rates are in the 6s.
I saw one in the 5s the other day, and I was like, "Whoa!" It was $599.
Yeah, and it had a huge cost.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, the rates are in the 6s, still mid 6s in general. And so, but yet people 4 and 5 bids, right? So just imagine when the rates are consistently in the 5s, right? Yeah. Because right now, I normally in a good market, I run 10 to 20 pre-approvals at a time. So I will have 10 to 20 people that I have pulled their credit, taken an application, gone over everything, verified their income and assets, and said, "Hey, you're qualified up to X amount. Here's your letter. Let's go find you a home." Yeah. 20, right? That's me normally in a good market, right? Right now, I've got 57 people begging to buy a home, pre-approved to buy a home, can make an offer right now, right? And they just can't find a home due to affordability, due to pricing, stuff like that. So you drop the interest rate a point and a half, and now all of a sudden they can qualify for $100,000 more. I mean, they're ready to go buy a house. So now these 57 people are competing against you. So yes, then you're going to have to start bidding over again. And so I've been trying to tell my clients that don't have the excess funds that they need to get into the home now. They need to be looking at the house now, buying now, and then when the rates drop, we'll refinance you.
Yeah.
And so, I've gone over the math, talked about it many, many times. That median sales price in Austin is $466,000. So, in 2 years from now, at just a 4.5% appreciation, that's going to be over $500,000.
Is that median price? Is that lower than what it has been recently?
It is. Oh, year over year, it's down 15%. Okay. Month over month, it's up $16,000.
Okay.
Last month it was $450. This month it's $466. So it's still it's just 15% from last year. And people are like, well, see, houses are depreciating. No. Median sales price is the halfway point. That means that half the homes sold below it and half the homes sold above it. Okay. So what that means is that there's more homes on the market now below 470,000.
Don't y'all remember that middle school math?
Right, but no, they don't. No, I understand. Median and average and all this stuff. So that's kind of what people think. So they hear that and they think it's falling, but it's really not. There's just more transactions going on in the more affordable range because the 500, 600,000 people 2 years ago are now 400.
Yeah.
450 because they can't afford 600,000.
More below the median now.
At 6.5%, where they could afford 600,000 at 2.5%, and that's what's happening. And people are misunderstanding that as some sort of depreciation, and it's not. Like I said, median sales price $466,000. That year over year, that's down 15%, but month over month, it's up $16,000. So we're still moving up.
Yeah.
Right. Closed sales, there was 2,611. Which is down 18%. That's why, even though we have so many more homes on the market, we're not getting, that's why we're getting the increased in time on the market is because we have less sales than we had before by 20% almost. 71 days on the market, which is kind of a normal market now.
Yeah, I was about to say because back in the day it was like 14 days on the market during COVID. Like it was. That was just such a different time. Now it's kind of everyone's kind of freaking out. Oh no, it's going away from what it was. No, it's going back to normal.
Yes, we are stretching back to normal. So again, it's like kind of that rubber band. You stretch that thing out for such a period of time, right? And then you bring it back together. It's not as tight and as firm as it was. And that's kind of, even though it's the same rubber band, it's, and we're back to normal, it just feels different. And I've equated this to people exiting the highway. I'm not saying you should do this, but let's just say you're driving 95 miles down the road.
Oh, you never do that.
And then the exit comes up and it's got a little curve and it's at 40. So you slow down to 40 from 95. You're doing 40 miles an hour, but it feels like you're crawling, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as what's happened in the housing market. And so, by buying a home today or waiting 2 years, if you wait 2 years, you're looking at around $40,000 in appreciation off of the median sales price, right? And so if you buy it today, rate 6.5, $450 sales price, you're going to spend $2,300 in some change, right?
Yeah.
Or $2,500 in some change. I'm sorry, $2,500 in some change. Right? In 2 years from now, you pay $50,000 more, so around $500. You get a 5% rate. You're going to spend $2,300 in some change. So you're going to save $200 a month over 2 years, which is $2,400 per year, which is $4,800, right? You're going to save $4,800, but you realize you spent $50,000 to save $4,800 in payment.
That adds up,
right?
Yeah.
So you buy it now, you save the $50,000, and 2 years from now you refinance it. You save that $200 a month. You spent $4,800 to get there, another $4,000 or so to refinance it. You saved yourself $30,000 over 2 years. Hey, hope you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. You've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. If you have any questions about anything I've said, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes. And we'll see you next week. I meant next month. I meant in a minute.
Next segment.